The smell hit me before I even reached the kitchen. Burnt paper. Thick. Bitter. I froze in the hallway, my backpack still hanging off one shoulder. For a second, I told myself it couldn't be what I thought it was. But then I saw the edge of a familiar envelope curling into ash in the sink. My college applications. All of them. Mom? My voice came out quieter than I expected. She didn't turn around immediately. She just stood there, watching the last pieces blacken, like it was something normal. Like she hadn't just set 6 months of my life on fire. "Oh, you're home," she said casually. "Good, I was going to tell you." My dad leaned against the counter, arms crossed, not even pretending to look guilty. "Tell me what?" I stepped closer, even though I already knew. "That we had to make a practical decision," he said. "Your brother needs those opportunities more." I blinked. Once. Twice. Across the room, my younger brother sat at the table, scrolling on his phone, not even looking up. Like none of this had anything to do with him. "My applications," I said slowly. "Those were my scholarships. My essays. And we're grateful for the effort," Mom cut in. "But let's be realistic. He has more potential in the long run." More potential. I looked at the ashes again. Weeks of late nights. Draft after draft. Every rejection I'd pushed through, just to get one maybe. All gone. "You could have told me," I said. "And have you argue?" Dad shook his head. "This is exactly why we didn't. You get emotional." I almost laughed at that. Emotional. There was a strange kind of silence in my chest. Not empty, just still. Like something had settled instead of broken. I nodded once. "Okay." That seemed to surprise them more than anything. "You understand?" Mom asked, softening a little. "I understand," I said. I understood that this wasn't a mistake. I understood that this was a choice. And I understood exactly where I stood in this house. I walked over to the sink, turned on the tap, and watched the last of the ashes swirl down the drain. No shouting, no tears, just the quiet sound of something ending. Behind me, my dad exhaled, relieved. My mom started talking about dinner, like the moment had already passed. Maybe for them it had. I picked up my backpack again and headed for the door. "Where are you going?" she called. "Out," I said. No explanation, no argument. Just distance. As I stepped outside, the cool air hit my face, and for the first time all day, I let myself think clearly. They thought they had taken my future. But all they had really done was show me I'd have to build one without them. I didn't go back inside that night. They thought they had won. They had no idea what I was about to do next. 6 months changes a lot, especially when no one is watching. The first few days after I left were messy. I slept wherever I could, kept my head down, and avoided thinking too far ahead. But survival has a way of sharpening you. Within a week, I found a small room above a repair shop. It wasn't much, thin walls, a flickering light, but it was quiet, and more importantly, it was mine. I got a job soon after. Long hours, low pay, nothing impressive. But every paycheck felt different when it didn't come with conditions. No one questioned my choices. No one compared me to anyone else. At night, I worked on something they thought they had already destroyed. I rebuilt my applications from memory. Essay by essay, line by line. It wasn't perfect. Some things I couldn't remember exactly, but something about starting over made it better. This time, I wasn't writing to impress anyone. I was writing the truth. I searched for late deadlines, alternative programs, smaller schools that still offered real chances. I emailed admissions offices. Some ignored me, some didn't. A few replied with unexpected kindness. That was enough. Meanwhile, news from home reached me through distant relatives and mutual friends. My brother had everything handed to him: support, time, attention. And somehow, he still managed to fall behind. Missed deadlines, half-finished forms, excuses that changed every week. My parents defended him, of course. "They're putting too much pressure on him," my mom told people. "The system is unfair," my dad added. It was never his fault. And strangely, I didn't feel anything about it. No anger, no need to correct them. Because something had shifted. I wasn't trying to prove them wrong anymore. I was too busy building something they couldn't see. Weeks turned into routines. Work, study, apply, repeat. No announcements, no validation. Just quiet progress. Then one evening, after another long shift, I checked my email like I always did, expecting nothing. But there it was. Subject line I had almost stopped hoping for. An offer. Not just acceptance, funding, support, a real opportunity. I stared at the screen for a long time, letting it settle. No one was there to celebrate. No one to say they were proud. And for once, I didn't need them to. I closed the laptop slowly, a calm smile forming without effort. They were still telling the world who I couldn't be. I was already becoming someone they couldn't recognize. They were still talking about me. I was already far ahead of them. The call came on a quiet afternoon. Unknown number. I almost ignored it. "Hello? Is this?" The voice was calm, professional. "This is your grandmother's lawyer." I straightened slightly. "Yes." "There's been a matter finalized that concerns you. We'd like you to come in." 2 days later, I walked into an office I had never seen, but somehow it felt like I was expected. My parents were already there. So was my brother. The moment I stepped in, the room shifted. Not loudly, just enough. Confusion first, then discomfort. "You?" my dad said, frowning. The lawyer didn't react. He simply opened a file. "Your grandmother updated her will 6 months ago," he began. "She was very specific." 6 months. The same night I left. He slid the papers forward. "A large portion of her estate, including her investments in property, has been placed under one condition." Silence filled the room. My mom leaned forward. "What condition?" The lawyer looked directly at me. "That it goes to the grandchild who chose to build their future independently." No one spoke. Not my parents. Not my brother. Just quiet, understanding, finally catching up to them. My dad opened his mouth, then closed it again. For once, there were no explanations. No excuses. I didn't say much. I didn't need to. I signed what I had to, thanked the lawyer, and stood up. As I turned to leave, my mom's voice came out softer than I'd ever heard it. "We didn't know." I paused, just for a second. Then I looked at them, calm, steady. "You didn't try to." And that was enough. I walked out the same way I had 6 months ago. Quiet. But this time, I wasn't leaving with nothing. They thought I was weak because I stayed silent. They didn't know I was simply busy becoming strong.